Have you ever felt overwhelmed just by the thought of changing your life? We set massive goals, lose 20 pounds, write a book, earn $1 million, but just a few days in, we give up. Why? Because it all feels too big. But what if I told you, you don't need a giant leap? What if one tiny step, repeated every day, was all it took? Just 1% improvement, every single day. That's how big changes really happen. Most people believe change must be big to be meaningful. They think, if I want to change my life, I need a breakthrough. I need to go all in. I need a total transformation. But here's the truth. Massive results rarely come from massive actions. They come from small choices, repeated consistently over time. The math behind 1%. Let's talk numbers. If you get just 1% better every day, that might seem insignificant. 1% is barely noticeable. It's like choosing stairs over the elevator or reading one more page before bed. But do the math. If you improve by 1% each day for 365 days, the compounding effect is 1.01365 to 37.78. That means after 1 year, you're almost 38 times better than when you started. Now imagine the opposite. If you decline by just 1% each day, 0.99365 per is 0.03, you'll almost completely lose your starting point after a year. That's the silent power of small habits. It's like compound interest. Think of self-growth like compound interest in finance. You don't get rich by saving once. You grow wealth by saving a little consistently and letting time multiply it. Personal development works the same way. Each small effort, when repeated, stacks on top of the last. Small actions become small habits. Small habits build strong systems. Strong systems lead to big results. Why it works psychologically. When a change feels too big, the brain resists it. It gets overwhelmed. It procrastinates. It fears failure. But when a change feels small, the brain says, I can do that. And that's all we need. A consistent yes from the brain every day. A 1% change is non-threatening. It's easy to start. And once we start, momentum takes over. Real-life examples. Reading 1 page a day turns into finishing a book a month. Writing 50 words a night can produce a full manuscript in a year. Meditating for 2 minutes can grow into 20 minutes of clarity and focus. Saving $1 a day leads to $365 saved and a habit of financial awareness. Conclusion. Small is sustainable. Big changes are exciting, but rarely lasting. Small changes are boring, but sustainable. And in the long game of life, sustainability beats intensity. So don't underestimate the power of a 1% shift. Do something small today. Repeat it tomorrow. Let time do the rest. Big goals sound inspiring. Lose 20 pounds. Write a best-selling book. Make $1 million. They light a fire in us, but too often that fire dies, fast. The psychological trap of big goals. When we set big goals, we usually do it with good intentions. We want to change. We want progress. We crave success. But here's the catch. Big goals create big expectations. And when our reality doesn't match those expectations, we feel frustrated, discouraged, and eventually, we quit. This is called the action-intention gap. We imagine the result, but underestimate the emotional cost of staying consistent. 2 common traps. 1. Overexertion too soon. We push too hard, too fast. You decide to get in shape, so you hit the gym for 2 hours. Day 2, you're sore. Day 3, exhausted. Day 4, you quit. Why? Because your body and mind weren't prepared for that leap. What could have worked better? Start with 10 push-ups or a 5-minute walk. Build up slowly. 2. Expecting instant results. We want progress immediately. You set out to read 50 pages a day. You finish 10, feel tired, and think, this isn't working. You lose interest, and the book gathers dust. Big goals can be like staring at the top of a mountain. It looks impressive, but it feels impossible to climb. The problem with all or nothing thinking. We tell ourselves, if I can't go all in, I might as well not start. If I miss 1 day, I've failed. But real growth doesn't come from going all in. It comes from showing up consistently, even when the effort is small. What works instead? Start small. Set tiny, achievable targets that create momentum. Instead of, I will meditate 30 minutes every morning, start with 2 minutes. I will write 1,000 words a day. Begin with 50. The goal isn't to shock your system. The goal is to build a rhythm your life can support. Final thought for this section. Big goals are exciting, but consistency beats intensity. You don't need to impress yourself today. You just need to do something you can repeat tomorrow. Because what's sustainable is what succeeds. Most people believe that goals are the key to success. They say, if I just set the right goal, I'll be motivated. If I want it bad enough, I'll make it happen. But that's only half the truth, because a goal is just the destination. It tells you where you want to go, but it doesn't tell you how to get there. That's where your system comes in. Goals are the mountaintop. Systems are the path. Let's say your goal is to write a book. That's the mountaintop. But what's your system? Writing 100 words every morning, blocking out 30 minutes of quiet time, putting your phone in another room while you write. These are the steps, the path, that actually gets you to the top. Without them, the goal is just a wish. Why systems matter more than goals? A goal is focused on results. A system is focused on process. A goal says, I want to lose 5 kilograms. A system says, I'll prepare healthy meals every Sunday. A goal says, I want to run a marathon. A system says, I'll run for 10 minutes every morning. The goal gives you direction. The system gives you progress. And it's the progress, not the pressure, that keeps you going. Psychological advantage. Here's the real power of systems. They reduce stress. When you only think about the goal, you constantly measure how far you still have to go. That can feel discouraging, but when you focus on the system, you shift your attention to the daily win, to the small action you can take today. And when you stack those wins, that's when momentum builds. What does a system look like? A system doesn't need to be complicated. It just needs to be repeatable. Drink a glass of water right after waking up. Write 1 line in your journal every night. Do 2 minutes of stretching in the morning. Read 1 page while you drink your coffee. Each of these may seem small, but small becomes sustainable, and sustainable becomes unstoppable. Final insight. You can't control when you reach the goal, but you can control whether you show up today. And showing up today, that's how you win. Fall in love with the system. So you want to build a habit, something small, sustainable, and powerful. But how do you actually make a habit stick? According to Atomic Habits, there are 4 simple laws that shape every habit. Follow them, and your habits become almost automatic. Ignore them, and even the best intentions will fade. 1. Make it obvious. The first step to building a habit is visibility. You can't repeat what you forget. So place your habit in plain sight. Want to read more? Leave a book on your pillow or desk. Want to drink more water? Keep a bottle next to your laptop. Want to stretch every morning? Lay your yoga mat out the night before. Out of sight's out of mind. In sight, in action. 2. Make it attractive. We are more likely to do things that feel rewarding or pleasurable. So how do you make your habit feel irresistible? Try habit stacking or temptation bundling. Only let yourself check social media after you write 1 sentence. Watch your favorite YouTube show only after your workout. Enjoy your coffee after 10 minutes of reading. By linking something you need to do with something you want to do, you build momentum and motivation. 3. Make it easy. This is the game changer. Most people fail to build habits because they try to start too big. The secret? Start small. Ridiculously small. Want to meditate? Start with 1 deep breath. Want to run? Just put on your shoes. Want to journal? Write 1 sentence. Why? Because once you start, it's easier to continue. And the hardest part of any habit is just beginning. 4. Make it satisfying. Your brain loves instant rewards. If something feels good, it wants to do it again. So give yourself a small win after each habit. Cross it off on a habit tracker. Mark and spawn your calendar. Celebrate with a little fist pump. That feeling of completion becomes addictive. You start to crave the satisfaction, and that craving keeps the habit alive. Final thought, you don't need more willpower. You need better design. Make it obvious. Make it attractive. Make it easy. Make it satisfying. Do this, and habits won't feel like discipline anymore. They'll feel like part of who you are. Don't break the chain. Starting a habit is hard, but keeping it alive, that's the real game. And one of the most powerful techniques to stay consistent comes from a legendary comedian, Jerry Seinfeld. He had one rule for writing jokes: write something, anything, every day. Then mark an X on the calendar. Do it again tomorrow, and again. Soon, you have a chain of X's stretching across the weeks. Your only job? Don't break the chain. Why it works. Each X becomes a symbol of effort. Each mark is proof that you showed up, even just a little. And after a few days, something surprising happens. You don't want to lose that streak. The longer the chain, the harder it is to break it. Make it visual. Print out a calendar, hang it on your wall. Every day you complete your habit, mark a big, bold X. You'll start to crave that next mark. And over time, this simple system builds identity. I'm the kind of person who shows up. I'm consistent. I keep promises to myself. That's where real change begins. Here's a truth most people don't like to hear. Success isn't always exciting. In fact, most of the time, it's boring. The hard truth. You won't always feel inspired. You won't always feel motivated. There will be days you don't feel like doing the work at all, but that's exactly when it matters most. Real example. The person who goes to the gym for 10 years didn't go because they felt like it every day. They went because they made a choice. Discipline over motivation, commitment over mood. They embraced the boring. They did the reps. They showed up anyway. What you can learn. Don't chase excitement, chase consistency. You don't need to be perfect. You don't need to go fast. You just need to keep going. Read one page, stretch for 2 minutes, write one sentence. Small, repeated, boring. But those boring actions? They are the bricks of greatness. Final insight. You'll be tempted to quit on the boring days. Don't, because it's not the big days that build your life. It's the quiet, ordinary ones. And if you can stay steady in the ordinary, you'll unlock something extraordinary. Change doesn't happen in a single day, but it does happen, one small step at a time. Let's look at how tiny habits can lead to massive transformation. Someone who reads just 1 page a day doesn't seem like a reader at first, but after 1 year, they've finished 12 books. More than most people read in a decade. Someone who writes just 1 paragraph a night might feel like they're moving slowly, but after 6 months, they've written their first book draft. Not because of inspiration, but because of consistency. Someone who tidies their room for 1 minute each morning starts to feel calmer, more in control. Their space becomes clear. Their mind, even clearer. They didn't need a deep clean, they just needed a beginning. These are not stories of superhuman effort. They are stories of ordinary people doing ordinary things, consistently. And that's what makes them extraordinary. Let's be honest, we all want change, but we often wait until we feel ready, until it's the new year, until we have more time, more energy, more motivation. But maybe all you need is 1%. Just a little better than yesterday. Repeat the message. You don't need to change the whole world. You just need to change 1% today. Because when you do, tomorrow changes too. Your habits shape your identity, and your identity shapes your future. You are not the result of one big decision. You are the result of 1,000 tiny ones, repeated, refined, remembered. Final affirmation. Small actions, done the right way, repeated daily, will change your entire life. Gentle call to action. Don't wait. Don't overthink. Just begin. Start with one small thing, right now, today. Because big futures start with things that seem small.